All right, we've got two final steps. Your flange is created, but to 3D print it, we've got some issues. So we may not have talked about this yet, but you can't really just start printing up in the air with a 3D printer because it's melted plastic, and where is it going to fall? Well, it's going to start stringing down or just falling down, and it's not going to do what you want it to do, and it'll cause your print to fail. And even if it didn't completely fail, you're going to have a section back here that's just not going to work the way you want it. So you can do a thing in a slicer. You can add supports where it would basically print plastic underneath here to hold this up. And that works well. It can be a little wasteful, but sometimes you just can't avoid it. You didn't need to do it in the cylinder because the cylinder actually it builds up layers just off the previous layer, and depending on the size of that circle, it can do that pretty reliably without collapsing. Sometimes you'd still need a support, but we can do some design things to avoid support, so when we're designing for 3D printing, we probably want to keep that in mind. So I'm going to go ahead and do a chamfer of this edge and this edge. I'm going to do an even one, so this one goes back 3/8 of an inch. I'm going to go 3/8 by 3/8. And this one, I believe, goes, I believe it's 11/16. It could be 13/16. But I do know the decimal equivalent of that, so I'll put that in here when I get there. So let's head over to AutoCAD. This part should be pretty fast. So let's see. All right. So here I am in AutoCAD. I've got my flange. I'm going to look at it from a northwest isometric so that I can see so I can see these edges that I need to chamfer, and I might modify that a little bit. And from here, I'm going to make sure I'm in 3D. I think yesterday I was in drafting, so here I am. Make sure I'm in 3D. And here we are. Let's go with... Come on, where are you? Mouse is moving really slow. All right, I'm going to go to solid. And I'm going to go here where it says fillet edge. I'm going to go down and I'm going to choose chamfer edge. A chamfer is just a flat cut. So you can see in this little this image, the one with the 1 on it is before a chamfer, and the larger one in front of you is after where that red is. It's just cut off a section of it at an angle that we choose or at a distance that we choose. So I'm going to choose chamfer edge, and now just like with a fillet, I need to tell it the distance. So I'll do the top one first, and that's going to be a point 3/8. That's going to be 375, and then that's distance 1. Then I need to type distance 2, 0.375. So previously I hit D for distance. I type in my 2 measurements, and then I'm going to go ahead and click the edge I want to chamfer. You can see it simulates what that's going to look like, and I'm going to hit enter. Okay. Now it did mesh out some of the cylinders here. That's nothing to be concerned about there. So next I'm going to do this next edge. So I'm going to type D for distance, and this time I'm going to go 0.8125, and gave me an error there. Let me try that again. I'm going to go chamfer, D for distance, 0.8125, enter, 0.8125. I must have been stuck in the previous thing there. Now I'm going to go ahead with this chamfer, hit enter, and it won't go. So with that, let's try that again, and instead I'm going to go with this inside. We'll try to chamfer that way. That's probably, is that going to do what I want? That's not enough. I'm going to hit D for distance, 0.8125. It went back to that old one. So there we go. If I go 0.8125, 0.8125, choose that one, hit enter, bingo, there we have it. So that'll give me a 45-degree angle up to there. So then I can go back to my southwest isometric. I say I can go back to my southwest isometric. There we go. And if you're feeling like you really want to look at this thing in another way, I think in the previous video I might have gone to realistic or shaded or something like that. Here's what we've got. It did not take my chamfer. I must have forgot to hit enter. So real quick, I'm going to go into here, try it again. 0.8125, 0.8125, enter, choose that. Now that it's in realistic, it's going to have a hard time. Let's go back to X-ray. The joys of AutoCAD. Forgetting something so simple and then having to redo. But you know, it's a very teachery thing to say, but that is good practice. Enter to accept the chamfer. That's how they got me. All right, well, we won't make that mistake again. And if you made that mistake with me, then, you know, sometimes you learn a lesson by having to work twice for the same thing. There we are. Okay, so now we are ready. We can 3D print this thing without supports. So your next step would be to go ahead and export this, slice it, and we'll go from there.